We got AZOMALI in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
What's up, my brother? My name is AZOMALI. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Colombian-American MC. I grew up in Freeport, New York, 516. But I always gonna feel like I'm connected to the rainforest because of my ancestry, my indigenous blood. You feel me?
Right. The reason I invited you over here is because a while back, maybe it's been like 5-6 years maybe, I seen a video that you said was called, what was it called?
Sativa.
I remember I was on Instagram and I just randomly came across it, and I was like, damn, bro, like this is wild, homie. Like this is the wordplay, the just everything about it. I'm like, yo, this guy's cut from a different cloth. And then after I seen a joint where you're in a garage and it's like a trappy joint.
Yeah, I was fuck Trump.
Yeah, that was amazing too. So then I was like, yo, I think I reached out to you, and anyways, the music just blew me away, bro. I'm like, this guy's different. You know what I'm saying? This guy's different. And I connected with you, and like I said, I invite people over here, whether they're rappers or just anything that might interest me. I invite people over here, and that's what captured, that's what captivated me when it came to you. Your wordplay, you just cut from a different cloth. Your style of rapping, like I was saying earlier, it reminds me like I'm on some sort of like psychedelic in
trip,
nature,
man.
like a trip. The way that you put your words together, I'm like, yo, this is wild. So I'm just curious to how that style was developed.
Well, man, it's a long story, but I'll try to shorten it up. I would say that when I was like 14 or 15, I spent a long time in Colombia.
Right.
And that's when Mos Def came out with the album Black on Both Sides. And I remember being in the rainforest, in the jungle, and being in the concrete jungle as well in Medellin, and just downloading the surroundings around me while I had one headphone on. So it's almost like something was being etched into me, like some kind of cosmic download,
Right.
you know, from the nature around me that I'm still trying to replicate and recreate till this day. Is that feeling. Like whatever was etched in me, I'm trying to stencil out into the world so I can describe the feeling that I felt, you know, hearing the boom bap and the bass, and hearing the knowledge of our Afro-Indigenous ancestors, and being in the birthplace of cumbia itself, you know, just being there and taking all that in is what I feel like connected me to that undercurrent that allows me to pull out those flows and that abstract style. I can't describe it, but I know what it is when I feel it.
You described it pretty well. To me, it's like if you bump Mos Def in the rainforest, something gonna happen, you know? And it happened to you. It happened to you. So that's deep. That's, like I said, it's poetic. That's pretty interesting, man. But so you grew up in New York?
Yes, sir.
In New York, but you're residing in LA now.
Yep. I'm in LA. It was crazy moving over here, you know, but I love it though. LA is fire. LA is fire because there's a sense of cultura that I was never exposed to in New York. You know, there's a certain sense of community in New York. You know, I love all my people out in New York, but I feel like New York is more of a vibe. Like everybody's trying to take care of themselves and their immediate family. Right. You know, and your close friends. But here, you know what I'm saying, the community seems to show out more and show up for situations, like for the fruit vendors, or for people that are in need, for, you know, people that are unhoused.
Oh, got you. It's a little more selfless.
Yeah. It seems like it's more community based, and I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like that's dope, you know. And most of the people that listen to my music were from out here. So I was like, I gotta come to Cali and see what it is that, you know, because when I was in New York, I felt like I had a piece of paradise or a piece of oasis in me. Like I was almost like a walk. I don't want to sound crazy, but like I was like a walking portal. But it seemed like in LA, whatever was around, people could relate to it. So I wanted to come to wherever it was that felt compatible with the way I'm expressing myself.
100%. I could totally see that, bro, because you come out here, and I think that when people from out here listen to you, we like, yo, he needs to be out here with us.
And I came out, man, and it was worth it, man. As you know, I met some beautiful people, man, including yourself.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
held it down, man. I didn't even know you. You held it down for me, bro.
So that's what's up. So you moved out here how long ago from New York?
Man, like right before COVID. I visited like briefly before that, but I went here with just enough money to get my own room to rent, and then COVID hit and everything shut down.
How long you plan on staying out here for?
Am I planning?
Yeah.
You know, my heart resides in Colombia.
Right.
The dream is for me to be able to have my own farm, my own land out there, you know, for me and my family.
Right.
But for as long as I'm here, I'm here until I can be here. That's all that I can say.
That's what's up.
You know?
So you enjoy it here for now?
Yeah, I love it here. My birds are here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my partner's here. I'm here.
That's what's up. You know? That's what's up. So you are Colombian and you have Afro Latino roots and indigenous roots.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you're of African descent and of what I call raza, right?
Yeah.
So you're both.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it was interesting, you know what I'm saying, going through the complexities of that, you know what I'm saying, because growing up, I feel like I grew up in it's interesting because the concept, people don't understand that being Latino is not an ethnicity, it's not a race, you know what I'm saying? It's, how do I explain it? It's a nationality, but it's not an ethnicity, because to be Latino, you are either automatically biracial or triracial.
Right.
So when I grew up, my mother's side of the family were Afro-Colombians. My dad's side of the family are indigenous Colombians. My dad could go to a powwow and he would say they would think he was from the reservation that they were hosting it in. You know what I'm saying? And my grandpa, if you ain't know better, you know, you would speak to him in English, you know what I'm saying? Like, so growing up, it was really interesting because I would hear racist things from both sides of my family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I wish that we could do better as people of a mixture, people that were born from such rough conditions. I wish that we could get along better. I didn't mean to go on that side tangent, but
no, I get it. I mean, I tell people and they don't like to hear it, but Latinos are mad racist. That's why racism doesn't affect me that much anymore. Once I realize, like, yo, my people racist as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So,
especially to themselves. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
like in El Salvador and Guatemala, they're racist towards the indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? They you know, no seas indio. That means like don't be stupid.
Yeah, growing up, they used to call my dad care indio.
Yeah, no seas indio, or they call all the female indigenous women Marias. Hey, Marias. You know what I'm saying? So
like India Maria.
Yeah, like India Maria, right? So you know, it's just what it is. I got to a point where I just accept it. I'm not okay with it, but it's just kind of what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
saying?
So coming out here, how have the people received you as far as the Mexicans, Salvadorians, Central Americans? Do they treat you like you an outsider? Do they embrace you, or how has that situation sort of been?
You know, if I could be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
I've had situations where people have made me feel super welcomed.
Yeah.
But I've also had situations where people have been like, oh, you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
And I never questioned my Spanish identity or my Hispanic identity until I moved here.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, why? You know, like to me, I look like any other regular Latino, but I guess there must be something different about me. I don't know if it's because I'm from New York or because of my grandparents.
Right.
You know, I've been questioned several times, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is it that I speak Spanish? You know what I'm saying? Or what am I? Or what am I mixed with?
Right.
You know, and it's just like, I just learned that, you know, when people are different and people come into different spaces with different people, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have those bumpy roads.
You're gonna have it. Especially, like I told you, Latinos are racist. So.
Yeah, but you know, I've also tried a bunch of new things. Yeah. You know, because where I grew up at, the majority of the community is Savi, Dominican. Right. And us Colombians are like a little portion in it, you know what I'm saying? And first time I had esquite was here. First time I've had tajin was here.
How you like tajin?
Looking at
you like
crazy.
Tajin?
Boy, I put that on everything.
I put fruit on tajin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. Tajin is good. I had to slow myself down though. And you know, and my shorty introduced me to like tortillas and like, you know, soft flour tortillas. It was over for me. I had to chill for a bit.
You're gonna get fat. You're gonna get fat. You know what I'm saying? But that's dope. So no, I could see that. But when I look at you, I can tell that you probably not maybe Mexican or Salvador. I could tell you something else, but I don't see you no different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? And like I said, once I got to know you, I'm like, yo, this guy, and heard you rap and your rhythm. I'm like, this guy's of African descent, because when certain rhythms, you're like, that comes from Africa. I don't know if it's just me, but I can hear that rhythm in you. like, yo, that's an African rhythm that you have right there. You know what I'm saying? Because
Thank you.
your style is very unique, and like I said, the wordplay is bananas, man. So that's definitely something that sticks out when I listen to your style. So as far as like living in New York and coming out here to Cali, was there did you notice like a rivalry or when you were out there? Do you notice like the kind of the bias?
Bro, I'll never forget, you know, and you know, some clown that I won't mention told me that he said that Big Pun would never make it out of East LA.
He would never make it?
Yeah, that he would never survive in East LA.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, it's just like, I don't got nothing against East LA. I love all my comrades, you know what I'm saying? But why, you know what I'm saying? Why are we imagining a Big Pun in East LA? He's from the Bronx. You know, so it's just like, from the point I got here, I just felt that little competitive edge people would try to give me. And I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, you don't see me hating on Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's because, like, you know, LA has, like I told you earlier, LA is built off of division. People don't want to hear that, but there's a lot of division here. Like, our culture is division. You know what I'm saying? You cross the street, that's somewhere you shouldn't be. You go over there, that's somewhere so we're built on division, so we're very territorial and very, we embrace rivalry, you know what I'm saying? So when the New York, LA thing was going on, even myself, I boycotted New York for some time, and I slept on a lot of good music. Yeah, I boycotted New York for a while until, and it was funny because I boycotted it, but on the low, I was banging New York. Yeah. And it's funny because now I realize that New York was doing the same thing, because all of a sudden there's Bloods and Crips everywhere, meaning they were rocking with us, but at the time they were we were both rocking with each other. We were just doing it secretly. Because even though I boycotted New York when it was when the Tupac thing was going on, even though I boycotted, I was like I couldn't deny it. You know what I'm saying? And then I got over that phase, and you know, New York has probably got most of my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? So it was just the division that we have, you know what I'm saying? So I know that some of it will still linger. You will still hear ignorant things like that, like he wouldn't make it in East LA. Man, everywhere is rough, you know what I'm saying? Just like Kid Frost might not make it in the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? So everywhere is rough, everywhere has their areas, you know what
Shout
I'm
out to East LA though. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it's gangsta
sure.
out there.
Of course.
I learned, you know, I know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a, it's crazy. LA is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got a machete in my car right now. You feel me?
So, have you ever done psychedelics?
Nah, I haven't.
Oh man,
I haven't. Never in my life. Oh, you know what though? I have microdosed a little bit of shrooms, but it wasn't enough to blast me off into Venus. You know what I'm saying? It was just something I was curious about, but I wouldn't say that's the reason why I am the way I am.
No, if
you know what I'm saying? I did it later on in my life, but that psychedelics to me is not exactly the path that I would take, because if I'm already naturally like this, I don't want to be on another level, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's guided through a spiritual ceremony through my elders. Then you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe certain spaces are sacred for sacred things. And
you know what? It's crazy because it makes it that much doper that your style sounds like you've done all the psychedelics, but you don't even do that. It
sounds like I licked the frog and hop on the mic.
Right? So it's funny that this comes from a real place. That means it comes from a natural, organic place. It doesn't come from psychedelics or mushrooms. But you would think, when I heard you, I'm like, oh, this dude got to be on the frog or DMT or something. But now that I know that, that's like, whoa. That's mind blowing right there. Because how do you reach them type of bars? You know what I'm saying? And without that comes to show that comes to show that you don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that. You just need the right setting. You just need Mos Def in the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
So the jungle's a scary place, man. The jungle will teach you how to live in uncomfortability. The jungle will teach you that the darkness is not always the worst thing you could be afraid of. You know, the jungle is when I went through this hike in the jungle, and I was getting stung by this hornet the entire time, because the hornet happened to be attracted to flashlights. Right. So everywhere I pointed the flashlight, a hornet would come to my hand and sting me. It was a big, light brown hornet. If anybody knows the name of that hornet, Google it and send it to me, because it was somewhere near the Darien Gap. and it stung real bad. And there's creepy crawlies, there's all kinds of live fungal, you know, life around you. You know, one of the things people don't know about is that if you go to the Amazon rainforest and you turn the light off at night, the rainforest glows in the dark. All the mushrooms, they like glow stick green. You know,
so Colombia connects to the rainforest, to the Amazon?
Yeah, the Amazon touches Brazil, it touches Colombia, it touches Brazil. I mean, Peru, it touches Ecuador, it touches Venezuela, Guyana, I believe Trinidad, Suriname. It touches a lot of places because it's in the heart. If South America was like, yeah, we had a map of South America, the rainforest touches briefly on a lot of those places. For Colombia, it touches the bottom tip. For Brazil, it's more than half the country.
Right. Yeah. So what is the most beautiful experience you had in the rainforest where you're just like, yo, like just one moment like that you could name?
I don't even got to think too hard about it. It wasn't the Amazon. It was a region called it's in el Valle del Cauca. It's between Buenaventura and Cali. It's a rainforest that would be classified as El Chocó. And what's really interesting about that rainforest is that that the air feels like this. It's not overwhelmingly humid because it's up in the mountains. So you're somewhere where you're seeing all these tropical surroundings, and the water that comes out of there is one of the most purest waters in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like the water looks like it's like teal blue, you know, like you see these huge fish and people are fishing in the river, you know, and to top it all off, you could be there wearing a hoodie because it's not hot. Yeah. But the rain is like you're taking like a warm bath, bro. So the rainwater is nice and warm. So I never experienced anything like that. You know, that's I don't even want to give out the location, but it's, you know, it's in Buenaventura. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? And I never seen. There's something about the air. There's something about the smell of crushed guayabas, you know what I'm saying? Like it just had this feeling that I felt like if I took one good inhale of it, it'll live in me forever.
Oof, that's how come you rap the way you rap, because of that spot right there.
I wanna.
Did you listen to Mos Def right there?
Nah, well, you know what? I had some Mos Def lines playing in my head. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely, when I die, I want to be buried there.
Did you have any scary moments in the rainforest?
Yeah.
Animals?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. I remember I was shining the light this way. We were doing a hike, and this is now in the Amazon. A lot of people think that the only rainforest in Colombia is the Amazon, but there's actually multiple ones. So we have El Parque Tayrona, which is Cancuamo territory, Kogi territory, Wiwa territory, Arhuaco territory. We have El Darién, which is Embera Chami territory and Afro-Colombian territory. We have the Amazon. There's a bunch of different places, but this one I'm about to tell you is in the Amazon. Right. And I remember the guide taught me, the indigenous guy, we were going, and he said to hold the light like this. Don't hold it like this because you need to move it with your head movement. Right. And we went like this, and I just seen like 4 pairs of eyes flash back. Those are jaguars. And they had been following us the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And it was interesting because they don't like to be seen too much. Yeah, but I actually, you know what? And I don't mean to drag the story out. My scariest story though is not in the jungle, but it's in a farm right off near in Antioquia. I was in a small town called Yarumal, and I went from Yarumal on a little bus for like 2 hours that took me to somewhere. Walked down a dirt path, mud path in the rain for like an hour. Reached there. I couldn't sleep at night because worse than the jungle is when you live in a house in the middle of nowhere there, because all the nature out there will go to you for shelter. It's not like you're in a tent where you could seal everything off. Right. So at nighttime, instead of moths, there were roaches, flying roaches, and hornets that were surrounding the light bulb. You know what I'm saying? Crowding around. I couldn't sleep, so I went outside. I turned down the light to the porch to look at the front of the farm, and I see a big black cat the size of a German Shepherd.
Oh, what?
And I remember I was like, man, that's a weird cat. And it looked at me, and I was like, oh, that's a black panther, that's a jaguar. And it scurried off, and next thing you know, one of the livestock's babies, one of the baby cows got eaten.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
you know what though? I heard that the big cats, they know that humans don't taste good, and they try to avoid.
They even avoid their smell.
Yeah.
They don't even like, if they smell you around, they're trying to walk around you.
Yeah, they don't want to mess with you. So, but if they're hungry enough, you're gonna smell good.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? But I heard that they just try to avoid you. They don't like anything about humans, and sometimes I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying?
we be fucking up.
But damn, that's so. The community in Colombia, the Afro and the indigenous community, is there segregation? Is it together? Is it how does that work?
So because of the conditions that Colombia was founded under when it was colonized, a lot of people noticed, but cumbia was birthed out of that kind of shared struggle.
Right.
Cumbia comes from the African word cumbe, which means to move or to celebrate.
Oh, that's dope.
And a lot of communities are called palenques, and palenques are basically towns of people that were ex-slaves. So let's say if you and I were enslaved, we go and fund our own town somewhere in the middle of the rainforest.
Right.
That would be known as a palenque, and the palenque was open to indigenous people as well.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of those communities in Colombia, if you're anywhere remote, wherever you see Afro-Colombian communities, you will see indigenous communities hand in hand.
Right.
It's a given because they both understand the importance of the natural resource that our Mother Earth is.
That's dope. So it's unified.
Yeah, especially, and I like to in El Chocó, it's one of the most abandoned places by the state in all of Colombia. One of the worst places where poverty affects the community extremely. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, you see the same two people, together, suffering together. It's indigenous and Afro communities.
It's similar to out here.
Yes, sir. In
the U.S. and place. So you don't blaze?
Nah, I don't blaze. I don't smoke.
You drink a little bit?
I do here and there, but I do it in a way where nobody's ever really seen me drink because it's very rare, super rare. If I'm in Colombia and I'm with my family, I'm gonna have some aguardiente.
Right.
But I'm not out here trying to encourage that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I know that it's detrimental to our communities, especially
definitely.
indigenous communities.
Yeah, especially that. So you don't blaze. How come you don't blaze?
Man, honestly, it gets me too paranoid.
I
already feel like I'm on some other shit. So when I smoke, bro, I smoked some shit one time when I was younger that made me feel like I could feel the rotation of the Earth's tilt, and the world kept lagging this way.
Right.
And I remember it scared me halfway to death. I was just sitting in my car in front of 7-Eleven with the seat reclined, with my eyes closed for like 2 hours.
Right.
So never again. I'm good.
That's good, man. I like nothing against anybody, but I definitely try to promote sobriety and I think that sober is the best way to be. Being sharp is the best way to be. So, like I said earlier, it's pretty impressive that your style sounds like you do all of that, and it doesn't, and it comes from a natural place. So that is really a gift, man. I don't know if you see it the way I see it. I'm sure you do, but to have that type of wordplay and that type of style, and not to partake in things like that is pretty impressive, man.
One thing that I have done though, is I have chewed coca leaf, but that doesn't come from a place of trying to journey.
Right.
There are certain practices that will take you,
right.
But when you're going through the jungle or the rainforest in Colombia, it's a cultural custom to chew that because it takes your hunger away and it helps you continue going on.
Right.
I'll tell you this though, it is the most plant matter, plantiest, green. Think about the most untasteful plant you could ever have. It tastes like straight matas, like straight plantitas, bro. Like if you chewed a leaf from outside, but even 10 times stronger because it's kind of it has this earthy, almost acidic taste, and it sits here and your tongue goes numb.
Right.
Yeah, it's a real interesting thing, man. It keeps you going, and it's sad that it's been demonized and turned into a product that has destroyed our communities.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's interesting, man. So does Coke come from Colombia? I heard it comes from Bolivia.
It comes from Bolivia, and it also comes from Colombia.
Oh, from both.
But it's also distributed from Colombia to the United States.
Gotcha.
I don't really know,
yeah.
But all I know is that that's how it's been, told through history.
How come, how they have like weed farms out here in Cali and you could grow opium, or how come you can't grow cocaine farms outside of South America.
You know,
Do you know?
I think it's because the government hasn't found a way to tax it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
is it possible to have, I'm sure if there was...
Like if the climate was right, yeah.
or
it's
could you
possible.
create a climate to mimic?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because I think it would have been done already with all the money behind it.
That's true.
They would have
That's
farms.
true. They would have had a coca leaf found.
I think that you can't do it. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the Quetzal bird, right? Like you can't put it have it in a zoo or in a cage because it'll die. It's like you just can't.
Yeah.
It
You know
needs
what? That's
its
true. I
freedom.
never heard of no.
Yeah, you would think,
Especially
right?
with all the new age stuff now, you would think they would open up some kind of
they would have had
dispensary.
some kind of like factory growing cocaine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've always wondered that, like why there's no like cocaine factories in other parts of the world. You know what I'm saying? So you chew the plant and like how does it feel? Does it feel like you had 3 cups of coffee type of
Nah,
thing?
bro, it's nothing like what you would think. It literally feels like you took a coffee that didn't hit until 20 minutes after you take it. So you're like, you're chewing it. It's called mambeando. Uno mambea.
Yeah.
You keep it right here, almost like you're chewing tobacco.
But what's the stimulation like? If you could describe it, like how like you feel like.
First thing you notice is that your tongue goes numb.
Right.
Your gums go a little numb too. Second thing you notice is that, or maybe it's just me, you know, looking at it from a spiritual perspective,
right?
You feel more connected to the earth because you're letting Mother Nature lend you a hand. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
I have a saying that when we lend each other hands, it's like we're propagating. You know, propagating is when you cut, you know, a part of the plant and let it root. You know what I'm saying, to another soil. So we're lending each other hands. We're propagating with nature, and nature is propagating from us.
That's dope.
And the second thing I notice is that I have this very smooth energy. I wouldn't say it's a boost. I just say you just have more in your battery. You just notice like, damn, I'm not tired yet. But you don't go, woo, you don't go crazy. You're just like, yeah, like, I've been jogging for a minute. I've been hiking for a minute.
It's like gradual second wind.
Like there we go. It's like that good second wind.
That
you know what I'm saying?
like real second wind though.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, and this, man, some places you in some indigenous customs you mix it with the shell, with this caracol, and when you do that, it activates a certain property in it, and that's for you know, when you want to talk to the spiritual elders in the other realm.
Now, does it feel like you're high though? No, right? Dope. And then when you grab the leaf, do they have it in stock, or do you go out there and pick it off the plant?
The only way to get it is if you go to somebody that has it, that's an indigenous person.
Right.
They'll give it to you, and you know it's given in good faith.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than going to some shady dude on the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it comes in a little bundle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Let's just say, man, that it's been here before in the States. You know what I'm saying?
So out in Colombia, being that it's the epicenter of cocaine, is there a lot of people on coke over there?
Yeah, bro. That's not a stereotype, and I say that with a lot of love.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. And it's really cheap?
I wouldn't know.
Oh.
I wouldn't know, but all I know is that in a lot of communities, you know what I'm saying, it's just what it is.
It's just,
and I'm not stereotyping my
Nah, but I mean, it's kind of like in California, a lot of stoners because it's known for weed, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of times stereotypes are real.
Yeah.
As much as we don't want to admit it, a lot of times stereotypes are real. California, known for weed, a lot of stoners, you know what I'm saying? So,
you know what's crazy talking about drugs like that? I have an uncle, right? Man, he got shot 3 times in the head over something like that in Colombia. He lived.
Yeah.
I don't know how he lived, but he was rezando to las ánimas, which is something that my grandma used to do. Everybody was scared of my grandma because she used to do that. So she would ask for the spirits for help, you know what I'm saying, for different kinds of saints and stuff.
Right.
And he knew somebody that was selling drugs and happened to be the son of a good friend of his. He told the guy, the dad, and next thing you know, he was walking down the neighborhood and he felt something cold pressed against his head. He got shot one, it came out and knocked his front tooth out. He shot another one, it came out here, and he shot another one, I forget where, and it came out his cheek. You see that if y'all ever meet him, one day I might bring him somehow, smuggle him over here, you know what I'm saying, my uncle. He has a hole in his cheek from that.
50 cents, 50 centavos.
Yeah, bro. And he said the lady, oh, my bad, it entered, he got shot, it entered through his ear, and somehow, I don't know how it worked, but he remembers hearing everybody get far away from him, and it was word around the community that he got shot, you know what I'm saying? And then when they came to see him, he was already in a puddle of his blood, you know, gargling it. Sounded like he's snoring.
Yeah.
And my other uncle was there basically to tell him like goodbye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and when they put him on the medical thing, my uncle says that he remembers praying and that he remembers that the lady put her finger, she put her finger in his ear when he got shot and he swirled it. He said, "Oh, este hijo de puta está muerto." And then he said, "¿Cuál muerto, hijo de puta?" You know what I'm saying? And he fucking, like, he was able to react, you know? And everybody was like, whoa, you know?
Like, I'm not going quite yet.
And he left the hospital the next day.
Damn.
Somebody brought him his bike. He rode his bike.
That's gangster.
Rode his bike back, and then he went to go look for the guy. Turns out the guy already died. You know what I'm saying? I don't know much about the situation. I'm not tied to that situation. It happened before I was born. But
what religion are most people around your part of Colombia?
Catholic, some Católicos. Yeah.
Oh, everybody out there Catholic.
Yeah, Catholic. We have some evangelicos, some Christians, but mostly Catholic.
Is there any type of indigenous religion or like anything like that?
There is, but I wouldn't know the name of it. But gotcha. All I know is that in certain places we have indigenous practices where, you know, there's something called el tequendama, and it's a figure that appears in Colombian folklore a lot. You know, it's people say that it's the in-between phase of a shaman and an animal. You know, it almost looks like a bat, and it's made out of gold. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of freaky stuff, man. A lot of stuff that in the Amazon, you know, the flag for Leticia, Las Amazonas, is a white and green flag, or I believe it's a white and green flag, but it's definitely green, and it's an indigenous person with an arrow, and it's a jaguar leaping. And man, there's stories in the Amazon of a guy that, you know, shot a jaguar, and when he got closer, the jaguar was halfway turning back into a chief of a community. You know,
yeah,
so
it's funny. It's funny because my mom, the same type of stuff is out there in El Salvador, and she swears by it. Like there's people that turns into animals and back to humans, and the people in El Salvador, my mom swears by it. It's like, no, it's true and it's real. I'm like, huh. My mom's never done drugs. I don't know if she's personally seen it, but in her mind, she's absolutely sure of it. It's not like, it's not a little fairy, sleepy time story. Yeah, no, it's like real deal. But anyways, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been a great conversation, homie. Any last words? Any shouts out? Any project? What are you working on?
Yeah, I just dropped a new project called Music for Solo Camping. Make sure y'all check that out. It's volume 1. You know what I'm saying? Most of the songs were mixed by 3 Heart, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Yalito, you know what I'm saying? Most of the songs were also mixed by my brother Mikey, you know what I'm saying? Down in RZN Studios in DTLA, you know, and yeah, I'm coming out with a new project, man. It's, you know, I'm keeping it under wraps. I just dropped a new single called Cacao, and it has to do with the creation of cumbia, you know what I'm saying? It's on Spotify and everywhere. You know, and yeah, man, shout out to my brothers in Cosmic Force, you know, shout out to my peoples back in New York, shout out to Zapata the Ghost,
Thank
you know
you,
what I'm saying? A beast with the beats. We just did something right now, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait till y'all hear that, you know what I mean? Like, so shout out to all my people, and I want to say, if you ever do visit Colombia, please make sure you get back to the community. Don't just go there, you know what I'm saying, to party and you know what I'm saying, do drugs and shit. Come to the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? You know, we'll receive you with love, and we'll invite you for some agua panela con lentejas, you feel me?
That's what's up, G.
My brother, thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
All day.